Welcome back, all our 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ.
And I'm Lane.
And we are here with Tim's Nation to bring you, for the first time in 2025, Chapter Approved Battle Report. That's right, the new mission cards are out. And Lane was fortunate enough to get the set.
They're kind of out. They're out for lucky few, I guess. Yes. GW did not produce enough sets.
No, but Lane was lucky enough to get a set. I'm still waiting on mine. And we'll be able to start playing these, practicing, and this is going to be the way we're playing tournaments now.
Mm-hmm.
So for today, I'm actually testing a GT list, and Lane's playing Librarius.
I'm having fun.
I thought we always have fun.
I always have fun, but after the recent GT, I was tired of my opponents making saves. For anybody who left me lovely comments on the videos about the tournament, a lot of people pointed out that my opponent on the stream made some pretty good saves, and that was pretty consistent throughout the tournament. So I'm done with my opponents making saves. This is our Librarius detachment that is here to just do devs and mortals all over the place. So I don't want my opponent to have the opportunity to make saves.
For me, I looked at these new mission cards, and I feel very, very strong, especially with the detachment and the army I'm playing with that MSU style. A lot of small units, 3 big units, but a lot of small units. And being able to cover the board, I feel like GreybKnights are very, very strong into these chapter approved missions. Entirely just being able to pick up and go, okay, what am I going to score? And being able to skip the battle shock, if you remove a unit down to 1 model, I can pick that model up off the field. Now it doesn't battle shock. Deep strike that single 32 millimeter base dude into a corner, complete an action, and score it at the end of my turn. These are big, big advantages, especially for up-down units. And GreybKnights, it's my army.
Yeah, the battle shock step says for units that are on the board. So if it's in a transport or if it's up in space, it doesn't have to take a battle shock.
Exactly. So it's been one talking point of this, as everyone knows. I've been trying to kind of figure out, do I want to play Necrons? Do I want to play GreybKnights? Which one am I going to play for this GT that we're going to soon? So this is another test game to kind of figure out what I feel most comfortable with, what I like. Even after losing to the Horde, I still don't feel too, I'm going to make up a word here, unconfident. I don't think that really is, but I haven't been completely shaken. I was shaken after our matchup, but after talking about it a lot more, I think there's still some play there. I think there's still some definite play.
Yeah, it's a goofy list that people won't prepare for. I've had a lot of experience. I would say more experience playing into your Necron character list than anyone else on the planet. So I've become somewhat of an expert in dealing with it and kind of figured out a way around it in some ways, but most other people have not. So,
and with my plan was to be very aggressive early on, and I was. And then when I failed all of the charges and was not able to push up, it was like, you're aggressive. Why are you doing this? This is not how you play 40K, so we're going to punish you. So, but that's not what we're doing today. Today we're doing GreybKnights, and Lane is bringing the Librarius Conclave. Let's take a look at the Librarians.
All right, friends, if you want to know more about the specific units, the detachments, the enhancements, the stratagems, the abilities, and how we plan to use everything, please check out our separate army list videos, and we go into detail about that. But for right now, here is a quick rundown of what we have. This is 1,995 points of Ultramarines in the Librarius Conclave detachment. I do, of course, have Rabute Gilliman because I have a bunch of Stern Guard, and I need to reroll wounds into Oath targets, and I want multiple Oath targets. We do have Uriel Ventress, we have a Lieutenant with Combi Weapon, and then we have 3 Librarians. One of these models is Tigurius. I'm not using him as Tigurius, I'm just using him as a regular Librarian, but will be the one with the enhancement Fusillade. Moving on, we have 2 5-mans of Assault Intercessors with Jump Axe. I do have a Brutalis Dreadnought. I've got a Gladiator Reaper, 1 Repulsor, and 3 10-mans of Stern Guard. 30 Stern Guard are back. DJ, what is it that you're bringing today?
All right, so we're coming in a little lighter. 1985 is our points for this list, and this is the GreybKnights Warpbane Task Force. This is the one with all the rerolls, plays like Canoptic Court, controlling the board, get rerolls, and the Purifiers are an aura of rerolls, and that's why we are bringing 30 of them, 2 of which are fitted with side cannons. 1 has incinerators, and we are leading the one with the incinerators by Castellan Greg Crow. More on that later. I have 2 5-man of the Interceptors with a single side cannon in that squad. A 5-man of Strike with swords led by a Brotherhood champion with the Radiant Champion enhancement. 3 5-man Purgation, all with side cannons. An Exaction squad, and we switched it up, and we're taking the Big Daddy himself, a Land Raider with las cannons, because any GreybKnight unit gets full rerolls to hit if they are in hollowed ground. So he's threatening.
Yeah. 4 last cannon shots of full rerolls is going to be efficient.
Now, as I said, Castle and Crow, I got to throw this out here. I don't know if anyone saw when I posted my army list video. For a brief point in time, Lane pointed out that I said my GreybKnights, and brought it to my attention. I told him, I was like, well, yeah, didn't you know that's Castle and Crow's middle name? Castle and Greg Crow.
Brother Gregarious.
Slaughtering demons and selling you insurance by night. So, all in all, Purifiers, I realized that I was saying this is Purifiers versus Stern Guard.
Yeah.
30 versus 30.
30 on 30. Yeah, we both brought 30 of our favorite models.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. That was like not pre-planned. I was like, wait a minute. Like literally while I was like, it's 30 Stern Guard, 30. So it's going to be a question of which one stands to the end. Stern Guard or Purifiers, which is the last model to remain. That's going to be a big theme of this game. But yeah, I mean, my army's pretty straightforward. I'm GreybKnights. I pick up, I put down, very leaf blower style build, 22 side cannons. I can hit really hard, and Purifiers are probably going to have big bullseyes on them because you've seen enough of them. You know their damage. Great thing about them is, even if it goes down to one dude, they're still threatening. Yeah,
that +1 to wound gets pretty efficient.
Yep, and the strat for 1 CP to just reroll those wounds. Easy go. Okay, this squad I'm going to reroll wounds with. I already reroll hits, so let's just make you make saves at this point. Librarius, what are you other than Stern Guard dev wounds? What are you feeling else?
Everything is dev wounds. The Brutalis Dreadnought does impact mortals when he completes a charge, so we'll couple that with tank shot to get some mortals through. We've got the Gladiator Reaper that does dev wounds and it's twin linked. We've got jump intercessors that do impact mortals. Guys, I'm tired of my opponents making saves, so I made a little wager. I don't not wager, but a guess as to how many dev/mortal wounds I do throughout the game. In my army list video, I said 75, which is a pretty bold claim to make, that I'm going to do 75 dev/mortal wounds. But please throw in the comments here at the start of this video how many you think I'm going to make, and I'll keep track of them throughout this game. We'll see how many times that I just don't let DJ make a save.
I say 50. I'm going to give you 50, nifty 50 just right 50. There. Just 50, 5-0. Right. For a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to have to correct myself later when I forget what number I said.
Oh, yeah, it's a nice even number.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, I'm just going to go right here. This is my $1, Bob. I'm going to give you credit of more than 1 devastating wound, but we're going 50. The other route would be 100, and I think that's way over the top. If you do 100 mortal, you can't.
Do you have?
You don't have 100 actually, wounds. I might. Because you got 60 wounds in Purifiers alone.
No, that's true.
So we might be able to get up there.
Yeah.
But, so we'll say 50. And the next number we're going to declare is odd or even.
Even.
And it is even. That was probably one of the easiest and best rolls I've had. It just like stayed where it's supposed to be.
Didn't hit any terrain, didn't go anywhere.
Didn't hit any terrain, didn't stand on a corner for a little bit. All right, so no infiltrators. I do no, I don't even have a scout move because I'm led by a Brotherhood champion, so I lose the scout move. So no scout, no infiltrate.
I'm going to have you drop first.
All right, we'll be back after deployment. Hey guys, DJ here with Tim Station. So it was brought to my attention that we made a big mistake with this. Apparently, when units that would need to take a battle shock test are removed from the field with like up-down abilities, when they place back on the field, they then have to still take that battle shock test, even though it's out of the command phase. This is in the rules commentary under replaced units, I believe it was. It's the 4th bullet point. And this is one thing I will give credit to Lane. He knew this existed, but we just couldn't find it. You know, within the different rules and searches and stuff, we just couldn't find it and just kind of disregarded it, and no one really brought it to our attention. So definitely appreciate the comment section for being able to point us in the right direction on this. So please ignore anytime we say that. Now we know, and definitely greatly appreciate you guys filling us in. All right, moving back on and enjoy the battle report. All right, we are deployed. Lane, tell us what we are doing for this opening chapter of approved game?
We're playing the glorious game of Warhammer 40,000. Our deployment today is sweeping engagement. Deployments have not really changed at all for traditional competitive. Of course, we have the new asymmetrical things. We're not going to be doing that yet, but this is sweeping engagement. Our primary mission is hidden supplies. So hidden supplies switched from being a special rule to a primary mission. That means we put an extra objective in the middle. Now, at the start of each of our command phases, from Battle Round 2 onward, we get 5 points for each objective we control outside of our deployment zones. 5 points if we control 1, another 5 points if we control 2, and another 5 points if we control more than our opponent. So it's hold 1, hold 2, hold more, not counting our deployment zone objectives. There is no mission special rule because we don't have those anymore, but we've got our deck of challenger cards here ready to go if anybody should fall more than 6 points behind.
Right on. So as far as deployment, for me, I have 3 Purgation Squad and I have 3 Purgation Squad and 2 Purifier Squads, one with Psi Cannons and one with Incinerators and Crow in Deep Strike right now, and a 5-man squad of Interceptor in this Land Raider right here. So Land Raider and Purifiers right here. I like having the Purifier or the Interceptor start off in this because it really lets them kind of catapult out for whatever I may need. We got 3 objectives right here. This nice little footprint looks like a puppy paw that we're able to tag with the Interceptor. So if we need to score points on those early, probably lose the unit, but still able to score those points. Then over here, Lane didn't really put anything over here, so we decided to start a little bit of play. We got the Exaction Squad here. We are touching this objective. Lane doesn't really have the range to hit me early on for these guys, so at least maybe I can sticky this objective before I pick them up and disappear with them. Home field objective doesn't matter for much, but defend stronghold and engage, that could be useful for me. Then we get these Interceptors as well as the Exaction Squad can try to maybe move up here, make Lane have to actually do something over here, or I'll just score easy points on that one and hold that objective. So that's really it for me. Lane, your turn.
So in Deep Strike, I do have 1 10-mana Stern Guard led by the Librarian that has the Fusillade enhancement. They have been given Deep Strike by Uriel Ventress. I also have a Brutalis in reserve because being able to rapid ingress of Brutalis is pretty strong. And then, of course, inside the Repulsor here, I have a 10-mana Stern Guard with the Librarian and another 10-man ready to kind of cycle through that. On the table, we have Uriel Ventress all by himself because I don't have a squad for him to join. We do have Gilman, of course, by his best friend, the Combi Weapon Lieutenant. Combi Weapon Lieutenant has Lone Op, and Gilman has Lone Op when he's within 3 inches of infantry. We've got our Reaper here ready to go and 2 squads of Jump Intercessors ready to jump out there, do some actions, maybe get on an objective.
And this little green marker is for me. I actually remembered with my Exaction Squad that I get to pick a unit and potentially beat them up a little bit better if I get there. Not the most relevant, but you know what? I did it this time. I remembered. So yeah, I like this hidden supply. So I always like the additional objective one when the primary mission was fitting for it. Things like Terraform were real nice. So I do like seeing that extra objective marker. I'm glad to see it in a mission that they just kind of base it around it. So we'll see how this plays, how this feels, especially with the new factor of hold 1, hold 2, hold more. That's going to be interesting. All right, Lane, what do you want to do? Go first or go second?
I want to go second, so you can't go second. Aha.
I actually want to go first in this because I think I need to get moving and try to put some pain on you before your reserves start coming in. So I kind of want to go first in this setup.
Okay.
All right. I don't get my wish. I'm going second. All right, Lane. You have any scout moves?
Nope.
Neither do I. All right. It's time to play the game.
All right, friends. So for turn 1, I pulled Assassination and Engage at all fronts. And of course, for this turn, I will be taking advantage of new Baby Engage. But then I have 2. I'm going to score 1 point because I'll be in 2 table quarters. The tank didn't quite make it into a 3rd table quarter. So awesome. Off to 1 point at the start of the game. So that's all. Nothing to shoot at here. So we just advanced the Repulsor up. Move these guys up to stage into the Repulsor if need be. That's really it. Through these Jump Intercessors up here. Yeah, that's the business. Yeah, that's it. Not really anything fancy here. I did declare for my my Librarian discipline, we are in Pyromancy, just through the extra AP and the 12-inch targets within 12 inches. So probably won't use it this turn, but that's it. On to DJ.
All right, so for my turn, I'm looking at Mark for Death and Area Denial. Two things. Neither one of us are winning by 6 points, so there is no, what is that thing called? What are the new cards?
Challenge card.
Challenge card for the first turn. And hopefully I'm going to score some points here. So Mark for Death has changed. Lane picks 3 units first, and he picked
1, 2, 3.
Yep, things I can't get to, can't see, and can't target. And then I get to pick one as a baby. I picked this 5-man. And then Area Denial is the same for the center, so we'll see what we can do there. I picked up only the Purifiers for my turn, put them down over here, just kind of zoning out the field a little bit. Hopefully that it will help keep Lane in front of me since he did oath the Land Raider. I thought about putting the Land Raider up, but it's not. To get it full rerolls to hit, I could have moved it out here, just put the nose out through the terrain, and I would have been able to shoot this thing. But I wouldn't have had full rerolls to hit. And with Oath of Moment, he can just decide to have full rerolls to hit. So I didn't feel like that was worth it at this time. Well, maybe later. But we did utilize it to catapult those interceptors to the middle. And then we're holding this objective. And then we made this one sticky and moved the Strike Marines away. So now we just got some shooting and fighting to do in the center. Success. They tried really hard not to get there. Once again, first turn charges, not my friend. Luckily, I was right there because that double 1 charge would have failed and cost me a CP. So we charged. Shooting, we only picked up 1. And then fighting, we actually cleaved through. Lane Armor attempted, and he gave me exactly 4 failures for the remaining 4 dudes. So we picked up the squad. That gave us 2 for Mark for Death. And then this little token is just marking the center. So this one little bro right here is within 3 of the center. So we will get the full 5 for Area Denial. So 7 points for the turn. Time to kick it over to Lane.
All right. Well, first of all, at the start of the second battle round, DJ had scored 7 in turn 1, and I scored only 1 on secondary. So I am behind. I'm behind by 6. I pulled Tempting Target and Bring It Down for my 2 secondaries. DJ did choose this objective over here. So I've already advanced my jump intercessors onto that, so they take the objective. They're not going to do anything there. They're just going to control the objective.
And get destroyed.
Yeah, get destroyed the next turn. But score me 5 points in the meantime. Bring It Down. We're going for the Land Raider. And then... so I did pull a Challenger card. So my Challenger card is either the free grenades, opportunistic strike. It's basically free grenades within 6 inches, or if I kill 1 or more models from 2 different units, then I get 3 points there. So I'll probably go for that. I'm trying to do hopefully pick up the Land Raider and then pick up some of these guys in the middle here. So these guys did deep strike in. They are the ones with the Fusillade enhancement. So they have anti-vehicle 5-up. So they'll be putting dev wounds into the Land Raider, which is my first oath. These guys over here are the second oath. The guys in the repulsor hopped out and got over there. And then the guys Stern Guard that were over here got into the repulsor. So that's it. Not a whole lot of movement here. The Reaper did move up so I can control this objective once I kill some of these boys in the middle here. So let's do a little bit of shooting.
So here we go. These guys... These Stern Guard, with their 5-up dev wounds, are shooting full rerolls to hit, full rerolls to wound, going into the Land Raider. Haven't done this in a while, so we're going to do a little bit of a dice roll here and show this. Lane's going to start with the actual Stern Guard. So these are 1 damage. It's whose line is it anyways here? Armor saves don't matter, and wow, this is going to be a lot. It hurts.
Only my dice matter. So I did start off by using the Psychic Grenades strat. I forget what it's called. I'll look it up here in a second. There's nothing else that has eyes on the Land Raider, so I have to make sure he's dead. So I did throw that and did 4 mortal wounds to start with. So now we're just going to finish him off. So these are the Stern Guard. They get 2 shots apiece, but rapid fire 1. So it's 3 shots apiece for 8 guys. It's 24 shots. Hitting on 3s with full rerolls. We have the Fusillade enhancement in here. And because we're in the Pyromancy discipline, we get sustained.
Good.
And we get sustained. And in addition to that, we're going to have 5-up devs because of the enhancement. And because they're Stern Guard, they reroll all wounds in the oath target. So a lot of ands here in this. So
and then.
So here's just the Stern Guard bolters. So hitting on 3s. 6s are sustained.
And then full rerolls for Oath of Moment.
It's an Oath target, so we got full rerolls. So it looks like we've got 3 6s so far. Oath rerolls. We got 3 misses, but we have a total of there were a total of 6 6s. I think I had one here that I bumped, so a total of 6 6s. So
yeah, because you had 3 in the initial set.
I think this 2 was a 6 again.
And now, because of the Oath of Moment, these guys specifically, the Stern Guard, reroll failed wounds.
Yes, and because of the enhancement, they are proccing their devs on 5-ups. So 5-ups for mortals and full reroll.
That looks ugly.
Already the Land Raider's dead. This is a cocked one. But we're going to reroll anyways because we're tallying how many dev wounds I do today. And oh my god, DJ, it's bad news for Land Raiders.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
off to a smashing start. Here's the rerolls. Okay.
Yeah, well.
Oh gosh, not quite as good.
Who needed the rerolls? How many we got?
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. But wait, there's heavy bolters. I'm just going to throw them all because then we'll see how many we did. The heavy bolters hitting on 4s, full rerolls with the Oath target.
No sustained.
Devs on 5-ups, full rerolls because of Stern Guard. So there's another 4, so that's 22. And then the Librarian, his psychic attack, just because we need to see how many total devs we would have done here. D6, 4, hitting on 3s with sustained. So he ended up with 5 hits thanks to a sustained. Devs on 5s, full rerolls because he's attached to Stern Guard. He did 2 more. And they're D3 apiece for another 5. So that was 27. Yeah, 27 dev wounds. The Land Raider is no more. Yeah, as we said, Land Raider go bye-bye. I didn't even need to use my Psychic Grenades, but I just wanted to make sure because nothing else had eyes on that. And then between these heavy bolters and this Librarian and the Reaper, we punched a bunch more mortal wounds into this squad here and finished them off. So that's it. We killed everything. DJ, was there anything in the Land Raider?
No, there was not.
Okay, I wasn't sure if there was anything in there. So these guys that advanced, they're not going to do anything, so there's no charges or anything. We're just going to do that for our turn. So we scored a tempting target for 5 points, bring it down for 4 points for the Land Raider, and I scored 3 points off my Challenger card for actually a pretty big turn of scoring there. So on to DJ.
All right, so for this turn, we're looking at Establish a Locus as well as a Tempting Target. So Lane's tempting me over here. Okay, we'll get a command point for it at the end of the turn. So what did we do? Well, we got this nice big brick of gray over here. So at the end of Lane's turn, I picked up the Strike, and they're going to establish the Locus for me right over here. Then we move these Purifiers up. They got eyes on the tank, as well as being able to charge these guys. And they also have line of sight to be able to see these guys. More on that in a minute. Move the Interceptors up, so now they're touching the objective, so we can start. What's the OC on the tank? 3? 3. Yeah, so he still has it, but if we blow it up, yay, or Battle Shock it. Left these guys here. I didn't want Lane to bring his Brutalis in over the side. Oh, wait, here it is. Rapid Ingress. So Brutalis is over here. Cool. Now we know. Lane could still pick up a unit for a command point, though, and deep strike it somewhere on the field.
Nope.
Oh, no. Put it in a strategic. That's right.
Nope. What are you talking about? I'm not playing Death Watch. I'm playing Ultramarines.
I thought Ultramarines...
No.
Oh, this isn't... Oh, that's Ultramarines Vanguard. That's how the Cheshire.
Uriel Ventress gave a unit.
That's
strike,
it. I'm
there's
safe.
No uppy downies.
All right, so this mess over here is actually 2 squads.
That's a mess.
It is. 2 squads of Purifiers and 3 squads of Purge. So all 3 squads of Purge are tucked in right in here. And because we can see a model in here, we can artillery them. No rerolls to hit, but...
To be clear, this guy over here can spot for them. Here.
Yes, because that's how it works with the Purge. So it's at least one GreybKnight model can see him. So now we can shoot, and it's just a happenstance to whittle down. If you fail some saves, maybe I can pick up a couple dudes. Over here, these guys, I mean, anyone with Tetsuit has a Librarian attached, has a 4-up Feel No Pain versus Psychic attacks. Purifying Flames and Side Cannons are Psychic attacks. So I need to put Heavy Heat on them. I spent a command point to drop these guys in Hallowed Ground and just outside of 6 inches. So if we don't finish them off, we have a decent charge to be able to go in there. And then we just have Incinerators, Side Cannon, Storm Bolters, Purifying Flames, and everything that you can imagine just pouring into these guys. Hopefully we can make them disappear. That's at least what we're hoping for. All right, let's do some shooting and see what we can do. Wrapping up the shooting phase. Now, one thing to remember, these librarians give a 4-up feel no pain versus psychic attacks, which purifiers that do a lot of it. So we put both these squads into Librarius squad. No rerolls to wound. I didn't go with that over here. We basically still took out the entire squad, looking at an 8-inch charge with the Crow company that landed into the librarian and his last little dude. Librarian's down to 1 wound, so we got 3 wounds left in there basically to remove. Instead of shooting the purge at the stern guard, we put a little extra damage on this tank because we are actually going to charge it with these guys. I wanted to see if we could put it in a range that we might be able to destroy it. I would have felt better if it was at 4 or less wounds. 5 is meaning I got to get 3 through. That's kind of more of a lofty task going into it, especially since Lane armor contempted this once during his shooting phase. He still has a command point and can do it once again. The armor contempt was used on these guys for these guys when they shot, since they spent a command point to go full rerolls to wound, and that did help. We were only able to get a little bit of damage through onto it and take it down from 11 to 9 wounds. So not a lot there. That armor contempt really came in handy to keep that thing from taking some extra damage. So now we're going to do some charges, try and pick these guys up right here, and see if we can't ding this tank up and maybe finish off this squad over here. To no one's surprise, these guys, the 10 purifiers, easily picked up the 5-man of jump intercessors. We charged over here. Lane did armor contempt and kept it alive. We did 4 wounds, and that armor contempt, he was able to stop enough to prevent me from taking it down. So it's still got 3 wounds left, but we do take control of the objective. We out-OC him. So at least we don't give Lane the 15 on primary, since we had 0 on primary this turn. And I actually retracted. I decided not to charge over here. If I charge into these guys, then I'm kind of in a bad position. Yeah, there's a big tank filled with some dudes in there. I don't want to deal with that. So instead, I just stay back. If Lane decides to move, I can overwatch and pick those last 2 guys up. So they're kind of, hopefully, dead to rights. All right, that's it for my turn. It's over to Lane.
I don't really expect you guys to be able to read my chicken scratch here, understand my score sheet, but at the end of battle round 2, DJ had a total of 11 points, and I had a total of 18, so he was behind by more than 6. So DJ will get a challenger card. Now, per the rules, we determine who the challenger is at the start of the battle round, but they do not get to pull their card until their command phase. So he does not get to see his card yet. So I pulled my secondaries. I got cleanse and no prisoners. So all we're going to do is try and cleanse in here. I scooch my guys behind here so they can be hiding. I move my tank up here to kind of control that objective. These guys are going to stay still so they don't get overwatch. These guys are my first oath target. I'm going to shoot at them with the tank and the dread and try and charge the ballistic dread, or the brutalis dread in there. And Gilliman's going to try to charge in to finish these guys off. So that's what we're going to do, trying to kill these guys and these guys and see how that business goes. Yeah, that's it. Nothing really fancy here. I'll just go see if we can do a little bit of killing. So for shooting, the heavy bolter did pick up 2 guys, right? I put it into the back, already wounded purifier squad, so just chipped a couple guys off of there. We chipped through some of these guys here between the brutalis and the reaper, shredding through some of those guys. So now we're going to do a little bit of charging. Brutalis into here, Gilliman into there. Let's do some punching. Oh, GreybKnights. So you'll see the Brutalis did not make his charge. This is because DJ spent a CP on a strat that makes him -2 to charge when he's in their hallowed ground and their purifiers. So they're always hallowed ground. And I rolled, what did I roll? I rolled a 9.
No, you rolled a 7.
7. I just needed an 8. And even with the re-roll, I couldn't get in there. It was just too far away. Gilman did make it in here and shred these boys. So Gilman did finish those guys off, of course, with 14 AP3 attacks. He did the work. So, unfortunately, couldn't get in there. I wanted to tank shock and do a bunch of mortals on the impact with the Brutalis, and now he's not. So this turn, I only did 3 dev wounds, but that does get us up to 39 dev wounds on our dev wound tally, so we're doing pretty good there. On to DJ.
All right, so I get the challenge card this round. My stratagem is a 6-inch pylon and consolidate. Boring. My 3 extra points is have a unit complete an action in the shooting phase, 18 inches away from an enemy unit. That's why this little dude moved away. Done. Okay, so 3 points there. Hooray. So what's left is secure no man's land and extend battle lines. So we're good on extend battle lines because we sticky to home. Well, first we tried to advance these guys. Failed, and CP rerolled, still failed. So they didn't make it there, so they just stayed back. Instead, we used our deep strike to bring the purifiers down, resolve them, and then brought the verge down. So now we will secure no man's land. Lane has 2 models in the building on the terrain behind it. Now I have 3, so I'll take it and score secure no man's land. Moving on, we did our secondaries. Now we can just go and do damage. These guys moved up, and they're going to try and shoot down the remaining of the librarian. That hopefully we got enough firepower to go in there to do 3 wounds of damage. But that 4-up feel no pain is vicious. And then over here, we positioned ourselves so that we can charge the dreadnought and then piling back to the objective when we're done, because we'll need to. And then charge as well with these guys. And they hit pretty hard. They're not going to be hitting as hard because that's not a character, but Brotherhood Champion, yeah, he's not going to be that great either. So that'll be a long draw there. Maybe we won't charge with these guys. Maybe we'll see how that goes because we need to make sure we still hold this objective. That's it, I think. Oh, no. Way down there, all the way, I brought those purge in, 2 of which are able to draw line of sight, and 2 of which are going to shoot artillery, and we're just going to try and pick on him just because we can. All right, time to shoot. All right, so first of all, shooting-wise, these purge were successful in picking up the tank. These purge were successful in picking up Uriel Ventress. He was the character of Ventress. Get it? Over here, Lane won't even give me a snicker. We took.
I don't understand what you were trying to do with what you said.
Interest.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay, that's a stretch. It's a long walk to get to that pun, my boy.
That was not a stretch. I'll tell you what also wasn't a stretch. Picking up these guys. Real easy. Took them out real quickly. Over here was a bit more of a challenge. So we shot with the purifiers first, and I did barely any damage to. The bolters did more damage than the single side cannon. And then, actually, no, they think of the purifying flames because I just went hot on 6s. And then we charged, spent the command point to go full rerolls to wound. And the purifiers were able to pick up the Brutalis before it even hit. Lane had 2 CP. So he could have swung back and caused me some trouble. So the strike didn't really get to do anything. They just consolidated back to the objective since they did charge.
I did 4 mortal wounds because the Brutalis did explode.
This is true. 4 mortal wounds. That's it for my turn. Big turn on points. We were able to get 9 points on secondary, and we did score a challenge card. And it's going to be kicking back over to Lane.
All right, for this battle round, basically, I have 35 and DJ's at 28, so he's behind by more than 6, so he gets another card in his command phase. He doesn't get to see it yet. I did get 10 on primaries because of Gilman and everything, so we ended up pulling Secure No Man's Man and Marked for Death. DJ marked stuff for death that is going to be hard to get through. So I picked these guys as my tertiary target. So see if I can get them taken care of. We basically just stepped out. We oath this squad. We're going to start chewing through them. And second oath these guys. Going to see if we can do some damage there. Gillen's going to come up and tangle with maybe both these squads. So we'll see how that goes there. So just going to try to do some damage here and see if we can make it work. All right, so between a grenade and Gilliman shooting, we did pick a couple guys out of this strike squad, so it's just the Brotherhood Champion and his buddy here. The rest of that squad is still there. Between the shooting from the Repulsor and this squad, we picked up all of Crow's squad, but Crow is still alive and well there, and picked up one of these guys from shooting here. So picking up a Purifier squad is good. We just got to do some work here. Got to do some slapping into these guys. So, yeah, we're going to do some charge and see what happens. Well, that's pretty much game right there. I charged Gilman in. DJ did heroic with the Brotherhood Champion. He fought first and just aced Gilman, just like that. He has the enhancement that for each successful wound, he does a dev wound, a mortal, and Gilman just couldn't make any saves. So he just died and did not stand back up. So that, sad day for Gilman. Over here, we charged in and just killed 2 of these guys. They didn't do any damage back in return, but really didn't really do anything there. So, yeah, I didn't score anything from Mark for Death and did secure No Man's Land for 2 of those. So that's it. On to DJ's turn.
For this turn, we have the brand new and improved Recover Assets and Storm Hostile Objectives. Stumbled on that one. So, for Storm Hostile Objectives, the only one that we can storm really is going to be this one. We're not going to be able to get over there to the tank, so we're going to have to try and take this objective. We got Purifiers coming up. They're going to have to charge, and we got Crow, and we stole the Purge in there. Now, for our challenge card, we got, this one's super weird. So I can either for free shoot and then move, but I can't charge after. It's typical 6-inch move strat. Or, oh my gosh, this one is crazy. If I'm just going to read it. Models in 2 or more units from your army made 1 or more attacks against the same enemy unit this turn, and models in the enemy unit loses 1 or more wounds as a result of any of those attacks. Then I score 3 points. Got it? Cool, because we only had to read it 4 times to understand. So basically, I have to have 2 units attack the same unit, and by the end of it, I at least need to do 1 wound to that unit, and I score 3 points. So this is going to be the one we're going to try and do that to. We didn't move these Purifiers. Instead, we're going to charge him and try and piggyback over onto the objective. These guys stayed here, and they just took the objective, and they're going to recover assets. They're recovering assets. These guys move back here, and they're going to recover assets. These guys deep strike back in. Now that I control that objective, they're in hollowed ground, and they're just going to shoot and put some hate onto these guys, see if we can't pick up 1 or 2 dudes. So Crow moved out to avenge his brothers, and that's going to be it. Let's go ahead and do some shooting. Shooting wasn't as eventful. Combat was where it was at. So shooting-wise, we didn't shoot the lieutenant because I wanted to charge him. I did. I successfully charged him, beat him up, and then was able to finish by piling over onto this objective to take that away, just to have it. It didn't really matter too much because we're going into turn 5. This squad shot, and we picked up, I think, 1 whole dude. So I think that squad's still pretty strong that's in there. As well as the tank, we didn't really do anything to it with the side cannons from the Purifiers. Instead, we charged in, and a big starting point was Castle and Crow precisioned out the Librarian. Now, he attacks second. I probably should have swung with him first, because then these Purifiers' weapons would have been much more devastating instead of getting Feel No Pain blocked. So we did pick up a good amount in there. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 7 dudes left? I guess we didn't pick up that much when you counted and go, you did not too much. So we only took 3 dudes out of the squad, but we did get the Librarian. So now that 4 up involved and that Feel No Pain are gone. So that's helpful. And yeah, we got 3 points. We did complete that crazy challenge card because we did deal wound and attack with 2 squads and to the squad. So that all happened. And we recovered assets for 5, since now it scores at the end of the turn. Pitch Storm Hostile Objective, considering we're going into turn 5, and Lane can just move off of this objective and potentially move off of this objective or in some way, shape, or form and deny it for me for 4 points. So yeah, that's going to be it. Kick it over to Lane and Deathwatch turn, or Deathwatch, Ultramarine turn 5.
So for this turn, I have Display of Might and Establish Locus. I did pull Sabotage, but I spent a CP to get rid of that. Display of Might, I have to have more units in No Man's Land than DJ does. So he has 4 units in No Man's Land. I have 3, so I have to kill 2 of his units. I'm trying to pick up Crow. Going to try and pick up these guys. Maybe pick up these guys. We'll see what happens. Going to do a little bit of shooting here. Establish Locus. We're just not going to be able to get anything there. So DJ does. I have 50, and DJ has 41 at the start of battle round 5. So he gets another challenge card. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. On to his turn. On to my shooting. So I threw a regular grenade at Crow and then threw a psychic grenade at Crow and finished him off. These guys finished off the Oath target here in shooting, and we charged in the tank and did a little tank shock, and that's how that finished off. DJ did spend the CP to do full rerolls here to try and finish off the tank. He did take 4 more wounds, so he's down to 8, but there we go. So on to DJ's turn, and we'll see how he scores.
GreybKnight final turn. I got Engage on all fronts, and originally I had Assassinate, which I didn't feel comfortable trying to take out this Librarian. I didn't really have any answer to it. So I spent the command point, shuffled it out, and it got a little bit better in the sense of bring it down because it was big chunky tank here, and as you can see, some things happened. So we knew we were going to score 15. I held this objective marker with this was sticky, and I just moved these guys out there. So now I held 2 objective markers outside of my deployment zone for 10 points. And since I held more, that was going to be my 15. Cool. I need to score 8 points. My challenge card, well, the stratagem side of it was not that strong. It was just I could pick a unit up at the end of my shooting phase and put it in strategic reserve. Nah, it doesn't really matter on turn 5. The challenge portion of it was I had to just have units in 3 of 4 areas to score 3 points. So I have 1 unit in Lane's deployment zone, that's 1 point. 1 unit wholly within no man's land, that's another point. And then 1 unit in my deployment zone for another point. Cool, 3 points there. Next, engage on all fronts. 1 unit here, 1 unit here, 1 unit there. Check. Last was bring it. Oh, yeah. Then this unit over here. Last thing was bring it down, taking down the vehicle that had 8 wounds left. So we had to fall back with these guys. We shot with them, got it down to, I'm sorry, it was at 12. We brought it down to 8 because of them. And then I think
No, it was at 8. You only got
8.
1 through because these guys completely failed.
Oh yeah, they did nothing because
they were hitting on 4s, swinging on 5s, didn't get a single wound.
And
these guys just chipped 2 off it, so it was down to 6 wounds after you were shooting.
And then we spent the command point to bring these guys wholly within, or just 6 inches of hollow ground, using my home deployment zone as the hollow ground. And we charged, and the Brotherhood champion, the hero of mankind, got 2 wounds, which put 2
he needed 6s
wounds.
to wound, to be clear. So on 5 attacks, the DJ got 4 hits and rolled 2 6s.
Yep. And then there was, that meant that there was 2 mortal wounds going through just because of Radiant Champion, and Lane failed both of the saves, giving him just enough to pop the vehicle, scoring 4 points, and just slightly inching the GreybKnights ahead with a final score: GreybKnights 77 to a Space Marine Ultramarine 74.
No one cares what the points were, DJ. They don't care what the score was. What they really want to know is how many mortals and devs my army did throughout the game. Now, listen, at the start, I said 75 was what I was going to get. A bit of an aggressive wager there, a bit of aggressive guess. It turned out I underestimated. Guys, I got 86 dev wounds and mortals throughout the game. That was more than I thought we were going to get. So a big 86 on devs and mortals. So as you can see, there isn't a whole lot left of DJ's army either. So pretty equal in terms of damage output.
Yeah, very much so. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Check out our post game to hear our thoughts on these armies. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.